Question 7b, I'll confess this is take 3 because it's goes on and on, but I've got the denominator here, and the first thing I've got to do is factorize this, and I can see I've got an x, which gives me an x squared minus 4x plus 4 there, and notice that that is an x minus 2 all squared. So the structure here we're looking for is that we are going to have some number over the x minus 2 all squareds. We're going to have some number over the x minus 2. We're going to have some number over the x. And now, what's going to go in front of this? Well, this is x cubed and this is x to the 4. So we know there are going to be some x's and a number. And so that's why I keep going wrong, because I missed out one of those. I'll pause now while I just merge all of those fractions together. No, I'll talk you through it. I've got the ax, and I'm going to times by all the denominators here. So they need a squared there and the x minus 2 all squared. The b, there's a 1 underneath that, so that needs both of the denominators, like that. The c's already got an x, so it just needs the x minus 2 all squared. The d's got an x minus 2 already. It needs the x minus 2 and an x. The e just needs an x next to it. And that is what that's going to equal. And we now need to try and find out what a, b, c, d, and e are without making any mistakes. So I'm going to count the x to the 4s first of all. There is one of them. And the only place it can come from is there. And so a is 1. I'm going to let x equal 0. If x equals 0, all of this gives 12. This one and this one and this one and this one are all 0, and so we get 4c. So c is equal to 3. We're going to let x equal 2. Putting in the x equals 2 into all of that side there makes minus 2. Putting in the 2 in there, 0, 0, 0, 0, and that's 2e. And so I've got e is minus 1. Right, now it's going to get tricky. I think the best way to explain this one is to actually multiply out these squareds here. So look, this gives me an x squared minus 4x plus 4. We know that from earlier. So x squared minus 4x plus 4 there. And let's try and count up the x cubes here. So the x cubes I get here, there are minus 4 of them. And the x cubes I get here are from that times by a. So I get minus 4a's here. The x cubes I get here are from that times b. So just plus b. Now we already know that a is 1, and so that gives us that b is equal to 0. And I'm even going to try and count the x squareds as well. The x squareds, we know there's 9 of them. And the x squareds here are these 4 here times by a. The x squareds here, well, we know this is 0 of them, so we haven't got to worry about them. And the x squareds here, well, there's just an x squared times by c there, so we can just put plus c. We know that a was 1, and so that makes c equal to 5. No, it doesn't. No, I'm not going back after 4.5 minutes. I missed the d's out. There's some x squareds there, aren't there? Look, there's an x squared there, plus d. And d, we know, d we're trying to find. Sorry. So I've got finally that d is 2. Whew. And I've done it 3 times, and even that one I went wrong. Sorry about that. We've got all the answers here, and clearly we're a bit worried about them. So what we could always do is we could let x equal 1 to go through and check everything. See what happens if x equaled 1 to see if they're right. Sorry that took so long.